West Intersection Improvement Project.
The first bid is from Milestone. The base bid amount is $1,194,884.50. The total alternate number one bid is $1,055,384.50.
So, Stuart, obviously that's a deduct. The bid, the alternate's a deduct. Okay.
Right, that's about $140,000 deduct.
You can remember what the alternate is off the top of your head?
The alternate is to allow the full closure of County Road 50 West, Salisbury,
Okay.
County Farm Road.
The second bid we have is from Milestone Contractors. The base bid is $1,326,800, and the total alternate number one bid is $1,236,150.
Now, you said Milestone?
This was Milestone, yes.
What was the first one? You said Milestone.
Bradley.
Oh,
Did I say
said
Milestone?
Oh.
reverse those.
Doug, we need you back.
Yeah, Doug, hurry over here quickly.
Okay,
That reminds me of an auction where I was bidding against myself.
okay. All right. So
So,
take them under advisement.
motion to take those under advisement.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to take those two bids under advisement. Any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. And again, thank you to the companies that bid the project.
Next item on the agenda is supplemental agreement number one with Butler, Fairman, and Seifert. This is the safety improvements on 231 and 500 South around McCutcheon High School. This is a fairly funded project. We have signed letters of obligation. The project has grown in right-of-way. The number of parcels have doubled from 9 to 18, which has effectively doubled the amount of appraising and buying. This supplemental agreement increases the contract by $47,500 to a new total of $88,450.
Mr. President, I move that we approve this supplemental agreement as stated.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the supplemental agreement as submitted. Any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. The only other item we have is a continuation certificate to work in right-of-way from Indiana Gas Company doing business as Vectron. This is a $5,000 bond extension.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion. We approve that continuation certificate as stated.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
You have the drainage. I don't see Zach. Oh, there he is.
How do you miss that?
Come on up, Zach. I haven't seen Zach, but I have now. He recognizes
Seen me for so long, I forgot what I look like. Good morning, gentlemen. Just real quickly, Zach Beasley, Tippecanoe County Surveyor. This project is located approximately, well, starting at the intersection of Creasy Lane and State Road 38 in Lafayette, Indiana, traveling southeast on State Road 38, approximately 1/2 to 3/4 of a mile, is where the Branch 11 project occurred a few years ago on the Elliott Drain. Some of the commissioners probably remember that project. So this is a continuation of the drainage in that area. Specifically, myself and my office have been working with the city of Lafayette engineer, Jeremy Grenard, on the extension of the Park East Boulevard, which will tie into State Road 38. So this would complete the connection between State Road 38 and Haggerty Lane of Park East Boulevard. And so to do that, that, it obviously needs drainage in that area. This is an easement to extend the storm sewer that's necessary to drain that road across the property that the Board of Commissioners own, which is the detention basin that Brand, or INOK, transferred into the commissioner's name, part of the Branch 11 project. And so this is a easement for the city to go across that property to tie in their storm sewer to the Branch 11 project, is what it boils down to. So I'm happy to answer any questions, but this is a very much needed project. I'm happy to answer any questions.
And Doug, I think you said you had something to add in regard to that.
Yeah, I would just make the motion contingent on approval of the petition to encroach that'll go before the drainage board.
Okay. So I'll make that motion as outlined by Councilor Mousen, that be contingent upon the petition to encroach for the drainage board.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Zach. We have an agreement from Jolly LLC on behalf of the Health Department, basically setting up an agreement to provide accommodations for anyone who needs to be under quarantine. So I would move for approval, or ask for a motion for approval.
I'll make a motion that we approve this MOU for the Health Department for, is it Jolly?
Jolly.
Jolly LLC for negotiated room rates as stated.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Shirley. Or I suppose we could handle that. She may be muted.
This is Sharon Bennett, HR Director for the county. This document is a revised declaration concerning the COVID leave. Yeah, the one that it changed the county leave to be in line with the federal leave beginning April the 1st. So that is the resolution of the declaration, as well as the form that's used by the employees.
And this isn't something we did at our last meeting? It seems like we handled this, no?
We handled this. This actually came up. We addressed it. I signed this agreement on the 11th of April, and then in bringing this back to be ratified, basically what it does is our original COVID leave would go through April 30th, and then this would pick up at April 1st. Moving forward, it's virtually the same.
Okay.
Here.
All right. I'll make a motion. We ratify that declaration concerning COVID-19 leave as stated, as well as request, as well as approve the COVID-19 leave form.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve as outlined by HR. Any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Do we have Sharon?
I will, I'm not sure that I have any questions. You? Okay. I'll make a motion, we grant permission to apply for community corrections. It's all right. For the Prison Rape Elimination Act Standards 2020 grant for $250,000, and it requires a 50% match.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the PREA Standards 2020 grant for $250,000. Any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion carries.
And I'll make a motion, we approve permission to apply for the Health Department for the COVID response for $250,000 to provide services for isolated and quarantined individuals.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve permission to apply for the grant as outlined. Any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And Jason, I didn't even ask you, did you have anything to add in regard to the first?
No, just if you had any questions, I was here to answer those.
And what about the third one in regard to comprehensive opioid stimulant and substance abuse mentor program?
Hopefully, it's just a continuation of
The current.
free child grant that we got. They just renamed it for those.
Okay, I'll make a motion, we grant permission to apply for community corrections as stated.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bob?
Hopefully you have, if you don't have a copy of what, I had sent this out earlier, if you want a copy, I got some copies here. We went through the system. What we need to do is recommend pay increases for next year if there are going to be any. And why we do this so early is we have to have all the forms back to us by July 1. So we do like to get a head start, and we have to put together all the salary statements. So I'd like to have this done, if not today, at least the next meeting. So what we have here are all of the funds that have payroll to them. And on the first page, it shows the amount of salaries, and that is salaries only for each of the funds. So we have $37 million in salaries if we gave a 0% increase, $38 million if we did give a 3% increase. To just put together the gross numbers. On the back side of that is the amount of change, and I'm doing this change based on, compared to the 0%. So what we, and then I do have at the bottom the summary for the general fund. So if you did get, for every percent increase in salaries for the general fund, the impact would be about $327,000. What this also does not include is Superior Court 7. That is not included in here. And it is an estimate in that I'm assuming that all of the full-time employees are under perf, which is not true because of the sheriff deputies and some other people that are under the sheriff retirement. And at the bottom, I do have what I am guessing is the amount of increase. Being about $859,000. This is a pure guess on what the levy is going to go up in 2021 because that is based on the 6-year non-farm income growth rate. And we know the 5 years, but this last year, which is going to end July 1, don't know what that's going to be as far as the income. So I am guessing that the levy is going to go down some. And that's where I'm coming up with the $859,000. And I do show 78% of the general fund is used for salaries and benefits. So if you did apply that to that $670,000, of the $859 would just be used for the personal services. Another thing to kind of remember as we go into the next year is we did have 22% of our general fund revenue came from income tax. And so what's going to happen to that next year is unknown, but it'll probably be down some. And then the following year too, it's not just going to be a 1-year thing. So,
And I'm sorry, what's the percentage that?
About 22% in 2019, 22% of our total general fund revenue was from income taxes. And so, that's going to go down, certainly not going to go up. And that's an unknown figure, but it is something to consider, and this is just a recommendation to the county council. This is what the salary statements will be based on, but, I would like for the council to approve whatever your recommendation is. So,
Well, what did you say the estimation for Superior 7 is? I thought it was about $1 million with their employees and the supplemental employees in other offices.
Yeah, I did come up with $1 million once, and some of those positions that I'm, like saying some prosecutors, those can go over to public safety. There's not a lot of things associated with that, but prosecutors could go over that. But I would say at least $500,000 that we're going to have to be, and that's going to be added on to what I've got here, because I did leave that out totally.
Okay.
Well, I think, Bob, the numbers you have thrown down here, just by what potentially the property tax will increase, we know what personal income tax is going to completely drop out of us. With the increase of Superior 7, I just don't see how the county can offer any type of raise for next year, so I've kind of yielded there too, but if not, I will make a motion that we offer a 0% raise for next year.
Yeah, I would tend to agree that obviously this, the past 6 weeks have changed everything. And at this point, it would be, I think it would be irresponsible to move forward with the raise at this point. It's unfortunate, but I think that's the way, I think that's the way the entire market's going to be, not just government, but I think it's going to be that way across the board. And so if you'd like a recommendation today, I think it would have to be, so I'll second that motion.
And of course, I agree with both Dave and Tom. I think we saw this from Purdue University early on, looking at their budget and just what they're dealing with. So again, I'm in total agreement. So we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor of recommending 0% raise for 2021 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
One other little thing I'd like to add, just to, maybe not to clarify, but to follow up. It seems like many years ago, we did go to the fact of suspending longevity increases. You do not want to do that, do you? Okay.
No, I don't think we're ready to say that.
Okay.
That'd be my take on
Right.
that.
Okay, some change orders for the Fairgrounds project.
I believe we actually have 4 of them. Did you add that other one?
Just 3.
Just the 3 for sure. All right. I make a motion, we approve change order 1, an increase of $12,694. This is with Shepler Construction, and this is for overhead doors and excavating work into the walkway into the old swine barn. I also make a motion, we increase change order 2, which is $19,325, which was Brand Electric. This is mainly for door openers and running power to the larger doors so that they can be opened accordingly. And then also move change order 3, which is an increase of $5,930. This is with Brenico Inc., and this is for adding hand sink and water heaters and stainless steel boxes and things like that into the restrooms. So I'll approve those 3 change orders.
So that was a motion?
Yes.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the 3 change orders for the Fairgrounds project as outlined. Any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. And change order for the central office, the old YMCA building.
Yeah, it looks like we have 1 change order. It's to drill out a lock on the northeast basement door and install a hasp with a whopping amount of $165.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the change orders outlined. Any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Do we have any unfinished or new business?
Yes, you do. Don't you want to do the, talk about the gun
Oh, I'm
extension?
sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. That was a blank stare. is
Yes,
what
it
you
was
got
a
there.
blank stare.
So most everyone knows by now that as of last Friday, Governor Holcomb extended his stay-home order for another 11 days, taking us up to May 1st. So wanted to have a discussion about that and see what the pleasure of the board was in terms of following that. Obviously, we want to follow that. We need to make a motion.
Well, and I can't remember, Doug, we may need your guidance here, but I can't remember if we actually did this through a motion to when we extended it last time to follow the governor's order, or if we just did it as a,
You have everything in order to just follow the governor's stay at home.
okay, so it is a motion?
Sounds like it.
Okay, okay. Okay, we do it in the form of a motion. Is that correct?
But you don't need to, but you can.
Oh, okay, all right. My only suggestion would be maybe to extend ours, though, to the 4th, since that's our meeting date. And then, so it would be midnight on the 4th instead of the 1st, so that we wouldn't have confusion with employees as to what to do on Monday morning.
Okay, so ours is extended to and to include the 4th.
4th, and
Monday,
then we
May
could have,
4th.
then we can continue this discussion at our regular meeting on Monday, the 4th.
Okay.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to extend through the 4th. Any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, motion carries.
So just to clarify, that means it'll be status quo through, all the way through the 4th at this point.
That is
For
correct.
our employees, yes.
Any additional unfinished or new business? Okay, the report, we have reports on file from the clerk of the circuit court, the public library, treasurer's office, and weights and measures.
We do have a public comment that was emailed in.
We have one emailed public comment. It says, I have asthma. I have neighbors that burn their yard waste. Last week, there were 6 smoky fires going. One fire smoldered for 5 days, sending smoke in the air. Normally, I can get away to the mall or get something to eat or hang out with friends at a friend's house while the neighborhood fills with smoke. I can't do that right now under the stay-at-home order from the governor. I had breathing problems that lasted all week. What I would like for you to consider is a temporary ban on open burning in the county. There is no way for me to escape the smoke. Thank you for your attention, Edward Dawson. We did have, it seems like we had a series of those types of complaints, or at least a couple last week from burning. And in those cases, that is already regulated by the state government or through IDEM, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know the answer to that. I know we've placed some temporary burn bans in regard to drought situations. But I don't, and I know the city has, of course, the 2 cities have regulations, but outside the city limits, I don't think there's any regulation in regard to burning. Am I correct there, Doug?
Yeah. What's the question? I can't hear Tom very well.
Okay, well, but you heard the email that Tracy read?
Yeah.
Okay, so I just stated that, of course, in the cities, there's, both cities have ordinances in regard to open burning, but there's nothing in the county. We've done a ban in the past, but that was related to drought issues. But there's.
Right, so a fire hazard we have not adopted any anti-burning ordinances that would apply in this situation.
Okay, any further action then? Any other additional public comment?
At this point, there is nothing from YouTube, but it is on a slight delay. So we'll give it a few
Wait.
seconds.
Okay.
There are currently no public comments.
Okay, final motion?
Motion to adjourn.
We are adjourned.